All right, Sunday Night Lights, a little bit late tonight, 9 o'clock. I was telling
Well, why is that? Why is that? What were we doing?
We're on a business meeting talking about my next virtual Purpose to Profit. It's coming up in March. It's going to be 3 days, folks. 3-day virtual Purpose to Profit, first week of March. Really helps you crystallize your calling. And that is a very valuable thing that we do. We typically have 500 plus people on that because, stats say that 87% of people live their whole life and never find their purpose.
That's right.
What they need is a structure. And I didn't set out to do this, but a lot of my life's work has become helping people find their purpose.
Right.
And I think that comes from my Covey days of finding your voice. The whole book, The 8th Habit, is about finding your voice and inspiring other people to find theirs. And it gives you all these structures and concepts. So it's Sunday night. I almost said Friday night. It's Sunday night prep work, Coach and Craig. Tonight, we're going to be talking about $1 Million Follow-Up because I'm doing something with Jay Kinder and Al Stasic on Tuesday. We have a book coming out called $1 Million Follow-Up for real estate agents, which is my book with real estate content. And there's never been a better time for real estate agents to be following up. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be releasing this week an 8-week free course with me when people buy the book on Pray Drive. And you don't like the concept of book club because it seems kind of wimpy, but it's 8 weeks with the author that wrote the book. And I'm actually reading the book right now. I don't have one over here with me, but I'm breaking the book down, and man, it is my best book. So let's talk about follow-up first.
Let's ask them before we get there. So if you're listening and you jumped in early, if you have a better name for this thing that we're going to do, an 8-week follow-up on Pray Drive, which is what Flip the Switch is about and pretty much his life work. If you have a better idea than book club, send it in the comments. Maybe we'll choose you. But I told Coach, I'm not a fan of the book club.
I don't like book club either. But if I could do some type of club with the author, breaking the books down, Q&A, it'll be for everybody that pre-orders the book. So who knows? We may have 500 people on there. Right. I mean, it's anybody who pre-ordered the books. It's the second week of February. I'm going to be doing boom for 8 straight weeks, every single Wednesday, on Pray Drive. So if you have another concept better than book club, I think there needs to be a new concept there. But let's talk about $1 Million Follow-Up first, because Tuesday, 4-hour boot camp with me and Jay Kinder and Al Stasic, probably two of the successful real estate agents literally on the planet. Jay sold 500 houses when he was a real estate agent. Now, those guys formed a partnership, and at the very top of EXP. Just a little tidbit of trivia. When Glenn Sanford started EXP, very few people know why it's called EXP. But EXP is the suffix of expert, expectation, expertise. That's why I called it EXP, because it's at the beginning of these key words. So a Tuesday, we're doing 4 hours with me and Jay and Al. The ticketed events, $97, but you get a copy of my book, Flip the Switch. You get our book, $1 Million Follow-Up for real estate agents. Plus, there's going to be a lot of other things that we're going to invite people to do. So you've been with me now for what, 90 to 120 days? Hey, seems like we've been married for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my wife. It seems like we've been married for 20 years. Why do you think, based on what you've seen working with us, that follow-up is so critical? Why do so many people screw this up and lose money in the follow-up?
Because we get lost in the weeds, man. The one kudos to you in the beginning is really I came to you to get better at speaking. I had an event in June, and I watched you speak. You invited me on that trip, and what I saw there is this guy was like an expert speaker. He articulates so well. But what I learned after actually working with you, I was like, there's another game. There's just another level. And frankly, as good as I thought I was and all the things I thought I was doing, I was getting busy in the day. And, when you have follow-up and you have a structure, a way to attack it, and principles to put forth into your day, say, we're going to do this thing, we're going to do this thing. And you break it down structurally. So by having that accountability in your day, you're going to see yourself just perform better. So it's just a matter of planning it out, not getting busy in all the details and just doing it. That's something that he does well. He's a quick start, and by the personality test, and I'm more of like the analytical side. So it's like sometimes if you know you're more reserved or you have like you're stuck in thought, it's like you got to borrow from energy from somebody else or even partner with those other people. So, you know, the book gives you a systematic way to think about your follow-up and not just know that you have to do it, but a way to implement the strategy.
Well, I think too, Pete, we live in a very fickle society. Like I could want something in the morning and completely change my mind by the afternoon. Like I was looking at a coaching program a few weeks ago. We kind of used it as a case study.
Yep.
And I was in a relaxed state. My neocortex was involved. That's the processing part of the brain. Typically, people make big decisions when the neocortex is involved, when they're relaxed. I was in a relaxed state at my house in Florida. I scheduled a meeting with the coaching company. I told them I was interested. Okay. When I was on the call, they didn't tell me how much the coaching cost. They didn't give me a chance to buy. They didn't even ask to take my order to purchase. And then 2 or 3 days later, I got some information. Still hadn't got a link to register. Still don't know how much it costs. And I still haven't gotten a follow-up call. And the truth is, when you're doing big deals like I'm doing right now, I mean, we were just on a call right there talking about doing $100,000 in advertising on an event.
Yep.
For one event to advertise $100,000. I'm talking about a greatness factory in Nashville where the seats for the auditorium cost $150,000, where the AV was $200,000. So because of that, when you don't follow up, you really miss a window when a person is hot and they're ready to go. And that's why I say for my events, you got 36 hours from the time I do an event to the time a person is moved on to La La Land is 36 hours.
Yeah.
From the time a person looks at a house, because this would be a real estate follow-up on Tuesday. From the time a person looks at a house to when they actually purchase, man, I would be following up with them like crazy. I mean, I'm talking from the time they leave to the time they make a freaking decision. Okay. That's what I would be doing, but there's a system to follow up. There's a methodology to follow up. There's value touches to follow up. There's a psychology to follow up. It really is a science that we've kind of codified in the book, $1 Million Follow-Up and $1 Million Follow-Up for Real Estate Agents. It's not just pestering people.
Yeah. And to that point right there, obviously you're not a real estate guy, but you've been in real estate and all that, before, but, to the two partners, Jay Kinder and Alice Dasik, they actually had a really cool way when you guys did your first virtual, the free one that people signed up for. They had their own little code, so it's good to be in the room with you because you have your way of doing things, but then you bring these other powerful people that are now experts in their field, and putting those two things together really brings something pretty cool. So if you guys were even thinking about that, it is going to be, if you're in real estate, even mortgage, it would be a really good way to even think of it. There's plenty of industries that you can take the principles of this opportunity and transfer it in there. But absolutely, what you're saying is we just get stuck in the mode of like, oh, I know I need to follow up, but people just don't really know what actual steps. That's like a blueprint for a diet. It's like, okay, meal 1 looks like this, meal 2 looks like this. When you do follow up correctly, it should think and feel like that. It should be like, okay, I'm gonna execute strategy 1, then it's strategy 2, then it's strategy 3. What do you say? I mean, when you're messaging people and you fall out and you're about to disqualify them, what's your message? I could say it for you if you want, but what do you say to them? Have you
seen enough to make a decision? Is that what you're asking me?
You could say that one, or you could say, have you given up on this? There's just another way.
If it's 7 touches, if it's 7 touches, and I think here's some principles, because I was posting the link for people to register for that on Tuesday. Here's some principles, because most everything operates on principles. Objects at rest stay at rest unless acted on by an outside force. This is something we probably learned in elementary school, Newton's law. Objects in motion stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force. Here's the equation to the follow-up. People are in a stationary position going on about their life until something comes along in their life and activates them to make a decision. Okay, that's Newton's law. Busy people or people of interest are moving and circulating, and you got to get their attention, explain your value, locate their ambition, give them something to take an action on. And I think sometimes when we're teaching follow-up, it's like a reminder, man, I need to follow up better. I need to follow up before, during, and after a sale. Follow-up doesn't start, by the way, when you make a sale. You're still following up after the sale. You're still reselling people. You're still inviting people to things in the future. I mean, you're constantly reselling people. So Tuesday, we're going to break that down. It's 8:30 to 12:30. If you purchase, I think it's $97, you can get the replay of that. If you can't come for some reason, we do want you to be there. But it's me, Jay Kinder, and Al Stasic, $1 million follow-up for real estate agents. So, kind of applying that philosophy there. Now, let's shift gears here to the book on Flip the Switch, because it's coming out literally. Man, I woke up and I'm like, man, that book's coming out next week.
10 days.
31st. I'm gonna be in Miami. I'm gonna be leaving Orlando, flying to Miami. So I'm gonna be in Miami, Florida when the book comes out. Next Tuesday, every book will be shipped from Amazon. There'll be thousands of books shipped out to everybody who's been purchasing the books. It's hard to believe that it's really here, but if you're out there and you haven't purchased Flip the Switch yet, you get a master class as soon as you purchase. That's 4 to 6 hours of me breaking the book down. You also, I'm also going to do an 8-week coaching every Wednesday at 12:30 for every single person that pre-ordered the book. Okay, so we don't know what we're going to call it yet. Book club. We could say it's a book club type thing, but it's really me just coaching people through the book with you, and you got the books. If you got a team, you get thousands of people on this thing.
That's right.
So what have we learned by bringing this book to market that people need to know?
Oh my God, we could write a book on this. We could write a book on a book launch. Well, look, there's a strategy, just like anything else. You want to do a training plan to get fit and healthy, there's a strategy to do that. You want to bring a book to market, there's a strategy for that. You want to do follow-up, there's a strategy. So to stop thinking you could wing this shit, you just can't. You know what I mean? Like, too many people just think they could wing it, and it's like, it's not. If you wanted to execute properly, you have a business plan and you go to market with a strategy. It's just talking with the team that we're running your digitals or your virtuals. There's a specific strategy. There's emails that have to go out. There's a sequence of emails. How do you touch them? What do you talk to them about? How do you follow up? So, I mean, the book is the same thing. And you have to realize, okay, how bad do you want it? Because part of you promoting and giving up things is taking money out of your pocket. I will say to everyone listening, if you ever thought about buying anything from us, you're going to want to do it now because it's discounted. Just letting you know, everything is in a discount mode because we're promoting and giving something away. It's called bill in lieu of fee. BILF is a word that we picked up on this one. And so Coach right now and all the products and services that are offered are being bundled and meshed together to incentivize people to help us support this launch, right? But after that, A, you're not going to see him as much. I can tell you that. He's going to go on a little hiatus. And B, you're just not going to get these things at a discount because it's like, okay, it's time to make money again. Now, the chance and likelihood that we get that title up here is going to, elevate some status. And hey, you might just be paying more, the brand.
Well, it's been a grueling grind. And typically at the end of the year, I have a period built in like an artist. Like if you follow artists, they go on tour, they absolutely exhaust themselves. And then they have November, December, January off. They go to the islands, they goof off, they don't do anything. Well, I have kind of a period built in December for that. But because the book launch was coming up January 31st, man, I just went straight through. So I finished last year, which was a grind. And then I went right into this year. And so what I've learned from the book is it's brutal, but Craig's right. When we push this book out to the marketplace, we won't be doing eight free weeks to coaching. We won't be doing Pray Drive for lunch every Wednesday for free. We won't be giving away all these things. So if you're ever going to get in and just taste the ice cream or get some coaching from me, this is the time to do it. For $26. You get 8 weeks of coaching with me. I mean, it's a very low amount, but I've learned a lot through this process. How do you generate leads? How do you get a person to take an action? How do you, how do you get large numbers of people to take action? And I think you kind of find out who your friends are. And, and this is important. I've learned to be a better friend through this because I know people that have reached out to me on their books and needed some help on something. I've reached out to people who I said, man, I need your help. Some people have come through for me. Some people have not. Some people have just ignored me. Yeah. Some people that said, man, I'm going to buy books, didn't buy books. Some people that said they were going to buy them have bought them. Some people have bought 250, 500, and they're kind of like, man, I want to help you. What can I do to support you? I know this is important to you. And some people like, yeah, I want to help you. And then you can't get in touch with them. And so Tracy Lawrence had a song called You Find Out Who Your Friends Are. And I think when you do something big like this, you find out who your friends are. So go ahead.
This Coach, And I know you go through life like I do with a chip on your shoulder, right? I mean, you went through life and you did your basketball days and you made something of yourself, but then you got really good at speaking, you got really good at coaching. And then, you see people on social media, and I felt the same way. We have similar distaste for certain people on social media at this point, because we just watch them and are like, you know what, this person kind of fell into it a little bit. And I don't want to ever take away anyone's, success. I'm never trying to belittle that. But what it does for somebody who's hungry, an entrepreneur, a go-getter, has drive, it gives them the energy. Every negative is fuel. So like somebody that you reached out to that's not going to help you, basically what your response is usually is like, okay, thanks, appreciate that. That just gives me more energy to get up tomorrow and go harder, because I can't use you. I can't get the handout. There is no parachute for me. So I got to earn and bite and claw and steal everything that I can to get my success.
Well, and I think it's what's interesting to me is some of the people have asked me to help them when they come out with a book, promote it or make a post about it or whatever. And I typically do. I think about songwriters who've asked me to promote their songs or because they got a new song and they want to get hit on Spotify. And I'm like, sure, man, I'll be able to I help you there. But then when it comes time, they don't remember that reciprocation. So one of the things I made my mind up at Christmas is instead of emulating people, I think everybody should do this at some point. I think there's a period where you emulate people. And then I think there's a period where you make up your mind, you're going to become one of those people. Right. And you're tired of watching them get all the accolades, or you're simply just know that you're just as good as they are. Right. And no offense to all those guys that are out there, but I know I'm as good as they are. Okay. I may not be as known as they are, but you put me side by side those dudes on any stage in America, and I guarantee you I can hold my own. Now, I don't say that braggadocious. I say it from 31 years of coaching people, started speaking when I was 15 years old. And so to me, it is that thank you. I owe you. I don't owe you because I'm mad at you. I owe you because you did stoke the fire a little bit and you kind of helped me put that chip on the shoulder. So we got a big couple of weeks. We got a book coming out the 31st, Flip the Switch. I posted the link. All you got to do, if you go there, guys, buy it and let us know that you bought it. It's a 2-step process. You go to Amazon and buy it, get your confirmation number, put it back in the website. That tells us. Then we're going to be inviting people to an 8-week series with me every Wednesday. It's coaching. So we got a book coming out. We got certification this week. Next week, I'm going to Orlando this week. I'm going to be gone like 7 or 8 days. Then we're going to Miami to do the Family First Life Insurance as one of the key speakers there. And they're telling me, anywhere between 12 and 15,000 people in Miami for that. That's going to be big. That's right. And I'm really, really excited about that. But I'm hitting people in Orlando. I'm doing events in Orlando all over the weekend. I'm doing events in Miami. I mean, it's going to be like 14 days of just push as hard as we can, get this book out to the marketplace. And so every single book matters. Daniel Hodge is on here. He bought 250 copies. David Perez just picked up 250 copies. Brandon Burks is getting 250 copies. Derek Fossey got 500 copies. Yeah. Nick Fields has got more than 250 copies, like almost 300 copies. Yeah. And so, man, there's all these people who have been in there. Angela Baker, 250. I mean, I could go on and on and on about
Madrano. Yeah, we got the list.
Yeah, Ari Madrano. I mean, there's all kinds of people who have purchased in bulk that have really, really helped us. So we want to say thank you.
And the 10s and the 25s and the 50s, they all matter.
They all matter.
Everyone who helped, you're supporting. You're helping his kids go in support. He didn't have a nanny this weekend. He was all stressed out. So just letting you know, you had this guy going this weekend. But look, I'm gonna get Coach on a podcast probably this week, and we'll launch it next week. So we do it in the launch week. So if you're still listening, put in the comments below any secret stuff that I should ask Coach. The raw. We're gonna break down this guy's toughness, the barrier that he holds. We're gonna get him a little raw and see if we can make him uncomfortable a little bit. So if you got anything good for me, put it in the comments. I'll come back and check it out. So, but yeah, we got a big week.
Yeah, those are my favorite podcasts, man. When people ask me great questions versus just the standard questions that people ask.
That's right.
So guys, late night, Sunday night prep. I already got my week planned out. Got my hit list, my farm club, my top 25, my red zone, my Blue Marlins, my level 10 opportunities, right? Coming into the week, because once we come into tomorrow, it's all about execution, man. Preparation is over. Thinking is a liability. Then it's time to go to work. So let's have a big week. Everybody needs a coach in life. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Let's have a big week this week.